In 1939,
America was still very poor. 13 million Americans were unemployed. Factories were running at half capacity. The Great Depression had been grinding the country down for a decade, and nobody could see a way out. Then Hitler invaded Poland, and everything changed. Not because America wanted to fight, America desperately did not want to fight, but because the entire world suddenly needed what America could make. Guns, tanks, ships, aircraft, ammunition, food, medicine, everything. And America was the only country on Earth with the industrial capacity to make all of it. At scale. Fast. What followed was the single greatest economic transformation in the history of any nation. In 6 years, America went from a struggling Depression-era economy to the most powerful financial force the world had ever seen. And here is the part they never teach you in school. America did not just win the war militarily, America won the war financially. While every other major power on Earth was being destroyed, America was being built. Make sure you subscribe to History Under Radar right now. We make our time to research and put together sophisticated histories that are under the radar. Because this is exactly the kind of story they may never want you to find. For you to have a proper understanding of the effects of what World War II did to America, you definitely need to understand what it did to everyone else. Britain entered the war as the world's greatest empire. It left the war completely bankrupt. Owing America billions of dollars, it would spend the next 61 years paying back. Britain's final war debt payment to America was made in 2006. France, on the other hand, was occupied and totally devastated. Germany felt the impact of the war so greatly that it was in rubble. Japan was rubble. The Soviet Union lost 27 million people and had half its industrial infrastructure destroyed. China had been at war since 1937 and was economically shattered. Every major power that fought in World War II came out weaker, poorer, and more dependent. Except one. America came out stronger, richer, and in charge of everything. Here is exactly how it happened. When war broke out in Europe in 1939, America passed the Lend Lease Act, the most important financial decision in American history. America would supply weapons, food, and equipment to Britain, France, the Soviet Union, and other allied nations, in exchange for payment, either in cash or in kind. Britain alone received $31 billion worth of American supplies. The Soviet Union received $11 billion. Total Lend-Lease value across all nations was approximately $50 billion. In the 1940s money, which is over $800 billion in today's money, every single dollar of that $800 billion went directly into American factories, American workers, American communities. The Great Depression ended almost overnight. Unemployment went from 13 million to essentially zero. Every factory in America ran at full capacity. New factories were built. Women entered the workforce in enormous numbers. The American economy did not just recover, it exploded. And then, America entered the war directly after Pearl Harbor in December 1941. And the production numbers became truly staggering. Between 1941 and 1945, America produced 300,000 military aircraft, 86,000 tanks, 71,000 naval ships, 2.5 million military trucks, 41 billion rounds of ammunition, in 4 years, while also feeding and supplying both its own military and the militaries of its allies simultaneously. No country in history had ever produced anything like this. The American industrial machine did not just support the war effort, it dominated it. By 1944, America was producing more war material than Germany, Japan, and Italy combined. But the real financial genius of World War II for America was not the production. It was gold. When countries needed American weapons and supplies and could not pay in cash, they paid in gold. Britain shipped its entire gold reserve to America. Country after country did the same. By the end of World War II, America held approximately 70% of the entire world's gold supply. 70% in a single country. This is what made the Bretton Woods Agreement possible in 1944. When the entire Western world gathered to design the post-war financial system, they had no choice but to build it around the dollar, because America had all the gold, and the dollar was the only currency backed by enough gold to anchor the entire global financial system. The American dollar became the world reserve currency. Every country on Earth would hold dollars. Every international transaction would be conducted in dollars. The financial architecture that America built on the back of World War II is the same architecture that gives America its extraordinary financial power today. The petrodollar you learned about in our last video, the IMF and World Bank, are both headquartered in Washington. The dollar as global reserve currency. All of it built on the foundation that World War II created. Here is what this actually means. Every other major power that fought World War II spent the next 20 years rebuilding. America spent the next 20 years expanding. While Europe was rebuilding its cities, America was building its suburbs. While Japan was rebuilding its factories, America was building its corporations. While the Soviet Union was rebuilding its population, America was building its universities. The head start that World War II gave America over every other nation on Earth was so large that it has never been closed. Not fully. America did not just win the war. America used the war to permanently restructure global power in its favor. The war cost America lives and money, but it paid back 1,000 times over in the financial architecture it allowed America to build on top of the rubble of everyone else. Remember that. History Under Radar. Subscribe. Share this video with someone who needs to understand how the world they live in was actually built. And come back next Sunday, because we are just getting started.